A lot of people have many differing opinions on in terms of how AI should be used in in the school and education. What is your overall take on that as the distinguished lecturer in Queens College?
I think AI should be used sparingly.
Fair enough.
Sparingly. I think too many students are using AI to write their term papers. That should not be the case. I think AI is a resource. I still have students who say, Professor Vacca, the wording that they use to me is like, how frequently did you use the internet when you did your thesis? And I look at them and I said, when I did my thesis, the internet was not around. I had to go and get books in libraries, and I had to find out resources. You know what I did often? I wrote my thesis on community boards in the city of New York and on local government. And many times I would go to a doctor's office or a dental office, and if there was a newspaper or a magazine there and they had an article that was similar to what I needed for my thesis, I would ask the doctor's secretary, can I take this page out of the magazine? It was a different time. It was a different time. So we have the internet, we have AI. Don't be spoiled by it. Research is very important. Research means that you increase your likelihood of getting a good job. Research skills are never going to go by the wayside. And I do think that people know when you duplicate AI and when you don't. When you do use AI, do you understand what AI is saying to you is the other question. I just think people want an answer quick for their term papers. Do you understand what they're saying? Have you explored what they said?
You think a lot of people have been outsourcing their thinking to AI in this case?
Oh, yes. I think that they've been looking at AI to see what AI says, and then that is their thinking. No. I form my own thoughts, by the way, and I think most people should. And if I teach anything in the classroom, it's critical thinking. I want my students to be able to think for themselves. 1 and 1 makes 2. How did I get there? How did this happen? And that's critical thinking. Critical thinking in the classroom is very important. I don't want my students to memorize what I teach. I want them to understand what I teach, apply what I teach, and use it in their everyday life. And I also tell my students, I teach courses in urban studies. And of course, many of my courses delve into political science too, and politics. And I tell my students, what's going to happen to you? You're going to find networking. Networking, you can't learn networking from AI. Networking is a skill. You have that skill, Moses. You are a good networker.
I do my best, but thank you.
You have that skill. And I admire you for that. But networking means that you can go into a group of people and converse about a variety of things, including government and including politics, not having knowledge. Sports is another good hook. I had a guy that worked for me. His name was Lester. And he and I would go to City Hall. He came with me to my meetings with City Hall when I was a council member. And in the car, he was very quiet. We didn't talk much. He was very quiet. Then I see somebody at City Hall, and he says to me, Jimmy, your guy Lester, he is a talker. I can't believe him. I said, who? Lester? My staffer? Jimmy, he knows everything there is about sports. And I said, I got it, because I'm not a sports person. So therefore, my conversations with Lester were not as fruitful as they were. But sports is a good hook. Politics is a good hook. Health is a good hook. All of these things are networking tools that we have to have. But how do you get those tools? Well, you have to have a knowledge. And I teach my students basic stuff that they could use as networking, not just about politics and what's happening today, tomorrow, and next month, but I teach them that conversing, talking, being able to communicate. People think of communication and they say, I could never talk in front of an audience of 400 people. I'm not telling you to make a speech in front of 400 people. I'd like you to make a speech in front of 7, in front of 8, talking one-on-one. All of that is communication. And the biggest part of communication, I tell my students, is listening. Too many people, including myself sometimes, I put myself in check, but too many people are listening, thinking of what they're going to say next. And that's what we should try to fight back against. We have to be good listeners. The most important part of communication is listening, not always talking.